If you're over 60, I truly believe today's message is worth your time. There's a common fruit, something you might be eating every day, that could be quietly affecting your brain health, especially during sleep. No warning signs. No clear symptoms. You go to bed like usual, but the next morning you might wake up unable to speak, unable to stand steadily, or even lose control of one side of your body. This isn't just a theory. As a neurologist, I've seen this happen far too often. And no, it's not caused by smoking or eating junk food. It's caused by something far more surprising: everyday fruits that were once thought to be perfectly healthy. The truth is, as we age, our bodies don't process things the same way they used to. Our kidneys and liver slow down. Blood doesn't flow as efficiently. Even the medications you take might interact with certain foods in unexpected ways. On top of that, mild dehydration during sleep can also play a major role. And when all these things add up, even from something as seemingly harmless as fruit, it can put us at risk in ways we never imagined before. Now, I'm not telling you this to scare you. My goal is to help you better understand your body and the changes that naturally come with time. So today, I want to walk you through 6 common fruits and why they may no longer be as friendly to your health as they once were, especially if eaten at the wrong time or combined with the wrong foods. Number 1. Bananas. If you're over 60, chances are you've always seen bananas as a safe and convenient snack. They're soft, sweet, easy to digest, and often thought of as a healthy choice. And that's not wrong. But as our bodies change with age, it's not always the whole story. When a banana ripens, the starch in it breaks down into simple sugars, which can cause a quick spike in blood sugar right after you eat it. If you have a ripe banana first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, your blood sugar can rise sharply in a short time. For younger folks, that may not matter much. But as we age, the body becomes slower at responding, less able to regulate insulin and electrolytes like it used to. The kidneys filter more slowly. Blood vessels aren't as flexible. And if you didn't drink enough water the night before, you may already be mildly dehydrated, something that can increase the risk of circulation issues or blood pressure swings. I remember one case clearly. Mrs. Evelyn Morris, age 79, came in feeling tired and slightly slurred in her speech. No signs of major neurological damage, but her numbers showed elevated blood pressure and potassium levels. She hadn't done anything unusual, just had her usual banana smoothie and a few blood pressure pills in the morning. Nothing wrong with those choices on their own, but together, ripe banana, empty stomach, mild dehydration, and medication, the body reacted differently. Not dramatically, but enough to raise a red flag. I'm not sharing this story to make you afraid of bananas. The point is to help you see how even the healthiest foods need to be considered in the context of your body at this stage of life. After 60, small things when you eat, how ripe the fruit is, how much water you drink, can have a bigger impact than they used to. So no, you don't have to give up bananas. Just consider eating them with a little protein, like yogurt or some nuts, and not on an empty stomach. And most importantly, drink some water when you wake up, especially if you're taking medication for blood pressure or heart health. Taking care of your health at this age doesn't mean cutting out everything familiar. It's about making gentle, thoughtful adjustments, knowing your body, and working with it. Bananas can still be part of your morning routine, as long as you give your body the support it needs to handle them well. Number 2. Grapes. Grapes are small, easy to eat, and often feel light and refreshing. Many people love their natural sweetness, especially the seedless varieties that are crisp, sweet, and convenient. But just like bananas, grapes, though they seem light, actually pack quite a bit of natural sugar. Just a small handful can give you as much sugar as a can of diet soda, especially if you eat them on an empty stomach. Now, the issue isn't that grapes are bad. It's about how an older body handles sugar once it's been absorbed. When you eat grapes, especially on an empty stomach, The fructose and glucose are absorbed quickly through the intestinal lining and head straight into your bloodstream. In younger folks, the body can usually manage that sugar spike pretty well. But in older adults, the insulin response tends to be slower and less efficient. That quick rise in blood sugar puts added pressure on the blood vessels, which, with age, are often thinner and less elastic. On top of that, the way sugar is metabolized can spark inflammation in the small vessels, especially those that feed the brain. Several studies have shown that frequent, sharp spikes in blood sugar may be linked to an increased risk of transient ischemic attacks, TIA, which are early warning signs of more serious strokes. I once treated a woman named Eleanor, 74, from Ohio. Each morning, she liked to relax with a book and a big bowl of red grapes, a ritual she found both healthy and soothing. But one morning, her hand began to tremble, her writing turned shaky, and she paused mid-sentence because she couldn't recall the word congratulations. At the hospital, doctors found she'd had a TIA, a serious warning that a full stroke could be on the horizon. Personally, I don't believe grapes need to be cut out of your diet, but I do believe how you eat them matters just as much as what you eat. For older adults, it's best to avoid eating grapes on an empty stomach. And it's worth remembering, popping a few is fine, but finishing off a whole bowl may not be the best idea. Pairing grapes with a little protein, like a few almonds, a slice of cheese, or some plain yogurt, can help your body absorb the sugars more slowly and steadily. That eases the strain on both your blood vessels and your pancreas. Also, if you're having fruit in the evening, especially right before bed, it's something to think twice about. At night, your metabolism slows down, and your body tends to get a bit dehydrated. That means blood sugar and potassium levels can rise higher than usual, an often overlooked factor that can affect your circulation and even your heart rhythm. Number 3. Pineapple. Pineapple is often praised as a digestion-friendly fruit. With its sweet tart flavor and a natural enzyme called bromelain, many older adults enjoy it as a refreshing alternative to heavier, starchy desserts. But for those over 60, pineapple is a good reminder that even healthy foods need to be used wisely. Bromelain, found in both the flesh and core of the pineapple, does help break down proteins, aiding digestion. But it also has mild blood-thinning properties. For someone in good health, that's usually not a concern. However, if you're taking blood thinners or antiplatelet medications like aspirin, warfarin, or clopidogrel, regular consumption of pineapple can increase your risk of internal bleeding, especially if it's not being monitored by your doctor. There's more to consider. Pineapple has a relatively high glycemic index, GI, meaning it can cause your blood sugar to rise quickly. In moderate amounts, it may not cause issues, but if eaten on an empty stomach or late in the evening, when your metabolism slows down, the sugar spike can be sharper than expected. For older adults, this can make it harder for the body to regulate glucose, possibly leading to early morning fatigue, dizziness, or brain fog. Another factor is the fruit's acidity. Pineapple contains a fair amount of natural acid. If eaten close to bedtime, that acid can contribute to mild acid reflux, sometimes without obvious symptoms, but it can still disrupt breathing and reduce oxygen levels during sleep. Even low-level nighttime oxygen drops can increase the risk of small, hard-to-detect strokes in older adults with circulatory issues. One real-life case I recall is Mrs. Clara Miles, 77, from Michigan. She avoided sweets after dinner and would instead have a few slices of pineapple as a way to keep her blood sugar in check. One morning, she woke up feeling off balance and her speech was slurred. She was later diagnosed with a cerebellar stroke. While no single cause was identified, doctors noted a meaningful combination of blood sugar fluctuations, the possible effects of bromelain, especially since she was on a blood thinner, and mild overnight oxygen deprivation. In my experience, pineapple can still be part of a healthy diet as long as it's eaten thoughtfully. Timing matters. Morning or early afternoon is better when your digestion is active and your body is more resilient. It's also best to eat pineapple after a meal, not on an empty stomach, and definitely not right before bed. And if you're on any type of blood thinner, check with your doctor before making pineapple a regular part of your diet. Number 4. Watermelon. Watermelon is often seen as the perfect summer treat, juicy, refreshing, and soothing on a hot day. With nearly 90% of its weight coming from water, many people assume it's a great way to stay hydrated. And while that may hold true in general, for older adults, especially those taking blood pressure or diuretic medications, it's a bit more complicated. What most people don't realize is that watermelon has mild diuretic properties. In other words, it can make you urinate more after eating it. That's no big deal for younger individuals or those not on medication. But for people over 60, the body's ability to manage fluid slows down. If you eat watermelon at night, especially after taking blood pressure or diuretic meds, you could be losing more water through urination than you're actually taking in, without even noticing it. That's particularly risky while sleeping. Overnight, if your body becomes dehydrated and isn't replenished, your blood can become thicker, flow more slowly, and increase the risk of clot formation. Blood pressure can also drop too low during the night, a risk that's already higher in older adults due to less flexible blood pressure regulation. All of this creates a condition that makes a silent stroke more likely while sleeping, often with no clear symptoms until you wake up feeling off the next morning. One case that stands out is Mr. Elbert Bryant, 82, from California. He had a history of high blood pressure and was on a regular diuretic. Every evening after dinner, he enjoyed a cold bowl of watermelon, something he had done for years. One morning, he woke up dizzy and couldn't keep his balance. At the hospital, he was diagnosed with a mild stroke. Doctors traced the event back to a combination of his diuretic medication, late-night watermelon, and overnight dehydration. Personally, I don't believe watermelon needs to be off-limits. But when you eat, it makes a big difference. Eating it at lunchtime or in the afternoon gives your body more time to manage the extra fluid safely. And if you're on any medications that affect kidney or blood pressure function, it's a good idea to check with your doctor before making watermelon a regular habit. In some cases, pairing watermelon with a pinch of mineral salt or a light electrolyte drink, like unsweetened coconut water, can help the body retain fluids better and maintain electrolyte balance, which is especially important for older adults during the night. Watermelon can still bring you joy and relief. Just be mindful of timing and portion size. After 60, good health isn't just about what you eat. It's about how you eat to support your body in a sustainable, balanced way. Number 5. Oranges. Oranges have long been seen as a heart-healthy fruit, packed with vitamin C and often associated with a wholesome start to the day. A fresh glass of orange juice or a few slices of orange after lunch sounds harmless, maybe even ideal. But for older adults taking medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or heart rhythm, regular consumption of oranges can quietly complicate treatment without you even realizing it. That's because oranges, especially orange juice, contain a natural compound called furanocoumarin. This compound can interfere with a key liver enzyme responsible for breaking down many common medications. When that enzyme is blocked, the medication doesn't get processed the way it should, and higher levels can build up in your bloodstream. That means, even if you're taking the correct dose, the drug may act more strongly than intended, leading to side effects or even dangerous reactions. This isn't just a theoretical concern. It's been documented in multiple clinical studies, and I've seen it firsthand. One of my patients, Mr. Howard Lynn, 79, had made orange juice a part of his morning routine for years. He was also taking a statin to manage his cholesterol, along with blood pressure medication. At first, he just felt a little sluggish in the afternoon. Then came occasional lightheadedness when standing. One morning, he lost his balance and fell from his chair. At the hospital, doctors discovered that his medication levels were well above the safe range. The conclusion: orange juice, something he thought was helping, had been interfering with how his body metabolized his meds for quite some time. Drug interactions aren't rare in older adults, but they're often overlooked, especially when they come from healthy sources like fruit. Not everyone will have a reaction to orange juice, of course. But if you're taking statins, blood thinners, antihypertensives, or medications for arrhythmia, daily orange juice could significantly change how those drugs work in your system. My advice: it's perfectly reasonable to enjoy the taste of oranges, but don't take them at the same time as your medications. Try to separate your meds and your orange juice by several hours. Even better, talk to your doctor to find out whether the specific drugs you're taking interact with oranges or their juice. A gentler alternative could be water with a splash of fresh lime juice, less furanocoumarin, but still refreshing and slightly tart. After 60, managing your health isn't just about the medicine you take. It's also about how you live with your daily choices. Oranges can be good for you, but only if they're not making your medication stronger, weaker, or unpredictable. As your body continues to change with age, the goal isn't just to add or avoid certain foods. It's to stay informed and flexible, making small, smart adjustments that help you feel your best for the long run. Number 6. Mangoes. Mangoes are a tropical favorite, rich in flavor and often seen as a natural treat, especially compared to processed desserts. Many people assume swapping out a sugary snack for a few slices of ripe mango is a healthier move. But here's the reality. One medium-sized ripe mango can contain over 40 grams of sugar, equal to, or even more than, a donut. For older adults, that's no small matter. After age 60, the body doesn't handle sugar as efficiently as it used to. Insulin response slows down, and consuming large amounts of natural sugar, especially from overly ripe fruit, can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose. These sudden changes in blood sugar can quietly trigger inflammation in the blood vessel walls, particularly in the small vessels that supply the brain. Over time, this may contribute to the formation of tiny clots that can partially or completely block blood flow to the brain, leading to mini strokes or worse. There's another piece of the puzzle: mangiferin, a natural compound found in mangoes, especially in ripe or dried ones. Some studies suggest that mangiferin may inhibit certain liver enzymes that help metabolize medications. Since the liver's efficiency naturally declines with age, adding another layer of enzyme slowdown can result in higher than expected drug concentrations in your bloodstream. Even if you haven't changed your medication dose, the way your body processes it could be affected. Take the case of Mr. Ben White, 83, from Oregon. Wanting to eat more naturally, he replaced his afternoon cookies with a handful of dried mango slices. Soon after, he began experiencing morning dizziness, and one day he collapsed in his living room. At the hospital, doctors diagnosed a mild stroke. Blood tests showed that his blood pressure medication levels were significantly elevated, even though his prescription hadn't changed. Looking back, his doctors suspected the dried mango, with its concentrated sugar and high mangiferin content, had interfered with his liver's ability to break down the medication. From my clinical experience, I wouldn't call mangoes dangerous. But for older adults, how and when you eat them matters a great deal. If you love mango, you can still enjoy a few slices of moderately ripe fruit, preferably during the day and after a balanced meal. Pairing it with a little protein or fat, like a few almonds or a piece of cheese, can slow down sugar absorption and help prevent sudden glucose spikes. One key recommendation: avoid dried mango. Not only is it packed with concentrated sugars, but it also delivers a higher dose of mangiferin, something your aging liver may struggle to handle on a daily basis. And if you're taking long-term medications, especially for blood pressure, heart conditions, or clot prevention. Check with your doctor before making mango a regular part of your diet. After 60, our bodies don't respond the way they used to, and that's not something to fear, as long as we learn to listen to those changes with care and respect. The fruits we've long thought of as healthy can sometimes have unexpected effects, not because they're bad, but because our bodies have changed. Understanding how your body works, adjusting how and when you eat based on your unique needs, and paying attention to the small details in your daily habits. That's how you protect your health in a way that's practical, proactive, and deeply human. No need for extreme diets, just mindful choices made at the right time and in the right way. If you found this information helpful or know someone who might benefit from it, I'd truly appreciate it if you left a comment, shared your thoughts, or simply followed this channel. Your engagement not only helps spread important, positive health insights, but also encourages me to keep creating content that genuinely supports our community. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And if you're willing, I'd love to see you again in the next video.